Let's talk about your grandfather. Behind Gretchen is a pulpit. It isn't just a prop.
No,
It's true.
Miss Robin was showing us the other side of it, where Granddaddy kept his Bible, where Granddaddy kept his gun.
He preached behind that pulpit for 50 years. My father grew up in the Kiamishi Mountains of southeastern Oklahoma, which is where, after the Civil War, outlaws would run because it was Indian territory. The Kiamishis was a place that had a lot of murders and a lot of moonshine and very scary place, actually. And he grew up there. He became a Christian due to the missionary work of a fellow that came through. And my father went out of the mountains to Bible college and then came back to the mountains as a missionary. I've always thought that God especially groomed him for that job because here he was and he had experienced the violence of the place, but his mother was the local school teacher, and he grew up loving books, loving thought. He was a man of great thought, but he knew how to shoot. He was a crack shot. But he got tangled up in a group of organized crime that was in the area.
he wasn't tangled up.
Well, he wasn't. He
tangled
was
with him.
Yeah, they burned his church house. He had been responsible for getting a deputy sheriff in the area. He was a deputy sheriff himself, but didn't want to do the job as the preacher. And the deputy sheriff was murdered. There was an eyewitness to the murder, but nobody would testify because of fear. So he wrote about it in his church paper, and they burned his new church house. He basically went to where they live and told them, I know about kerosene and matches too. And, you know, he basically fought fire with fire. His point being that if no one will testify in court, then the courts can't do their work. And the courts protect us all. It's the fact that we can take things to court and know that justice will be served that allows us to live peacefully together. And so peace was restored, and his work there went on through 4 generations of people.
Our favorite phrases that he said a lot, even when we were growing up, is he would say, you know, it ain't right to do nothing when something ought to be done. And that may mean that you may be defending somebody as the deputy sheriff. It may be that you're feeding and clothing somebody. But whatever it would be, it's your job as a Christian to do something when it ought to be done.
In my grandpa's pulpit was a Bible and a gun. He had seen his daddy murdered. He had seen his mama cry. He had grown up with the meanness, and he learned to use his eyes. In the Kiamishi Mountains, buried in the briars, Jesus came to call him and pull him from the mire. In my grandpa's pulpit was a Bible and a gun. And when it came to sinners, he could preach from either one. He said it ain't right to do nothing when something ought to be done. So in my grandpa's pulpit was a Bible and a gun. He built a church at Panther Creek, underneath the pines, 2 miles from the taverns can stop the gospel when the preacher stands his ground. In my grandpa's pulpit was a Bible and a gun. And when it came to sinners, he could preach for me the one. He said it ain't right to do nothing, but something ought to be done. So in my grandpa's pulpit was a Bible and a gun. In my grandpa's pulpit was a Bible and a gun. And when it came to sinners, he could preach for me the one. He said it ain't right to do nothing, but something ought to be done. So in my grandpa's pulpit was a Bible. In my grandpa's pulpit was a Bible. In my grandpa's pulpit was a Bible and a
Since baseball time is measured only in outs, all you have to do is to succeed utterly. Keep hitting, keep the rally alive, and you've defeated time. You remain forever young. Baseball fever. Catch it. It's worth it.
A message from Major League Baseball.